Hey everyone, welcome to our unboxing, review, and photo gallery of the Hot Toys Metal Gear Rising Revengeance Raiden Inferno Armor Version 6-scale figure. That's a mouthful. Let's see if the figure lives up to the grandeur of the name. Okay, the first thing you'll notice about this figure is all the accessories it comes with. Lots to do here. Okay, actually, the first thing you'll probably notice is this box, because it's definitely putting the red in Inferno. I know there is no red in Inferno, but there is a no in Inferno. And no is something you might yell if you were about to be thrown into an Inferno, so look, never mind. The box is awesome. It features a dynamic illustration of Raiden ripping through the exterior comprised of various shades of red. It's a clever way to hint at the fantastic paint job on the figure within. I first learned of this figure when I saw the prototype on display a few years back at the Sideshow Collectibles booth at San Diego Comic-Con. At the time, I only had an introductory knowledge of Raiden, and I'd once been in a room while someone was playing a Metal Gear game. After returning to the podium several times throughout the weekend to look at it again and again, I decided I needed to have one. Sometime later, when I was able to finally get my hands on a Raiden figure, I really had no idea what I was getting into. All those accessories were a complete mystery to me, so when faced with my own complete ignorance on a particular subject, I did what any rational, intellectually curious individual would do. I Googled. Using a combination of images and YouTube videos, I began to get an idea of Raiden as he existed in the video game. These tools make it easier for collectors to understand the posture, presence, and body language of a character, even with no previous experience. The challenges of transferring an all-digital character into a posable, tangible creation are well documented, but I'll mention them here anyway. In video games, when an armored character flexes and bends, those bits of armor he's wearing don't collide with each other as they do in real life. They simply pass into each other, and the animators hide the overlap. Hot Toys is no stranger to this issue, having developed armored figures for everything from Appleseed to Iron Man. And they've addressed the issue with this figure using the confidence and ingenuity we've come to expect from them. The figure has limitations, but they're navigable. I highly recommend owners of this figure to actually take the time to read the enclosed instruction sheet. Certain joints will have certain limits, and you don't want to find yourself breaking an arm or a shoulder because you tried to force a limb into doing something for which it wasn't designed. Something that really makes this figure special is how remarkably well balanced it is, given how narrow of a platform Raiden's footwear provides. At the end of the day, the figure can stand unassisted with a variety of poses, some of which would have toppled the average figure. Having said that, if you do decide to go with an advanced action pose, be careful. Again, read the directions. There are bits of armor at the shoulders and at the hips that are designed to be moved out of the way before articulating their respective limbs to the extreme. The paint job is really very sturdy on this figure, but if you aren't careful, there's a possibility you could scratch it. Almost finished here, just wrapping up a few last-minute details. Ultimately, I'll wind up tweaking this pose a bit more during the midst of the photo shoot itself, and just in order to finesse it a little bit. And there it is. Gorgeous. Red. Destined to be alone on a shelf or possibly paired up with one or two other misfit characters that are a departure from my typical Star Wars or G.I. Joe offerings. This won't be the first standalone 6-scale figure to worm its way into my collection based solely on its own merits. The way I look at it is this. I'm a fan of 6-scale figures. The limits of a 6-scale figure collection are defined by many things: aesthetics, economics, and the given area for display, to name a few. All too many times I've read on one message board or another something like, yeah, it's cool, but I've never heard of the source material, so I'm going to pass. Whatever, man. I understand why a person might think that's necessary, but I've always looked at that approach as a willful and unnecessary limitation, and life's too short for limitations. Having said that, I'll let you guys go for now. Thanks for watching, keep on collecting, and tune in next time. Peace.